probably a pretty important conversation for us to have. And we all want 100 raving fans. Most of us are lucky to have a couple. Maybe it's a family member. And the reality is, we have an opportunity to grow that in our business, whether you're a lender, a real estate agent, any type of business. You just simply grow. That word of mouth growth is really from those raving fans. And I think a mistake a lot of us make is if we have maybe a past client that we earned maybe through a different type of, action, maybe some type of lead generation. If they've come back to us, we're like, oh, they're a raving fan. If they gave us a great survey, they're a raving fan. But in truth, that's not actually a raving fan. And if you think about the numbers, and other people have put these stats out there from Ninja Selling to Gary Keller, we can break it down and say for every 10 people you should have a deal each year. And it's not necessarily because they're making a move. It might be more likely that it's someone they know making a move. Statistically, everyone knows 4 people making moves per year. And, our goal being in business is to be top of mind and to be the person they're talking about when you're not in the room. We have a very crowded highway, very crowded mind. It's hard to be top of mind. And they say create video, be omnipresent, be the person they think of when somebody's need comes up. And honestly, I just think most people don't hear real estate conversations in the way that we do being in the industry. So our job is to fix that, to get them thinking of us and to help them see you as the go-to person. They become your raving fan and they help you grow your business when you're not in the room. And I had to think about well, who are my raving fans? And I'm certainly raving fans of others. There are people I'm lifting up all the time when they're not in the room, and they probably don't even know it. But to be top of mind means when the question comes up about your type of business, they're talking about you, right? So I think of a couple of different people, and one person really stands out in my mind, and that is Liz Brown. Liz Brown with eXp Realty. You might know her as the TikTok queen. She's down in Virginia near Richmond, between Richmond and Charlottesville. And the two of us connected, I would say just over 3 years ago through social media, and our relationship grew. Not just because we saw the videos, but we were having deeper conversations in the DMs. We were building trust and connection. And one of the ways I help people grow their business is I always say to the 100 people closest to you, the people in your social media scroll, do they know what you're doing and how you can help other people? And recently I shared a tracker of, you're doing 5 reach outs a day to make sure people know that you're in business and what you're doing and that you can help them and their friends. It's a very simple 17-second video, a quick tracker scorecard ninja sellers might be familiar with. And I had done a reach out to an acquaintance and just said, hey, I'm not sure if you know, I actually have joined my husband in the mortgage industry. And what that means is we can help people, your friends, when they have financial real estate needs. Love to be the person that you think of when that comes up. And so sorry, hold on, let me go back to this. I'm recording to my chat GPT so that it gets my notes from this. And had a phone call interruption from actually another raving fan. And so when I had done that reach out, she said, actually, I do know that you're doing that. We were just talking about you yesterday. Thank you, Esther Biggs, for being another raving fan. And we would like you to come speak. We have this big conference coming up and we think you'd be a great speaker. I was like, absolutely. And then she said, who else do you know? I'm like, you know what? My friend Liz would be great for your social media panel and talking about TikTok. And then it went further where I gave her some other ideas, Lauren and Dave Massey for YouTube and Instagram, Facebook at the time. And, they might not have even known, but we're talking about them behind the scenes, helping to lift them, help lift others, right? So Liz came up and was a speaker there. A friend of mine, already trusted her because I trusted her and jumped in the car and came up with her. And Liz and I have gone back and forth. She's invited me to be a speaker multiple times on her Monday trainings. I have gone through some of her trainings and invited others along the way who have become raving fans of hers and vice versa. I've had the opportunity to go down to Richmond and speak in front of larger groups. And I've been able to connect her when she's done things like trainings or retreats and helping other people find their way to Liz and become part of her overall mastermind. I've connected her where she could be a speaker at other retreats and events. We've worked together with clients where she's had buyers who've needed a lender, and we've had the opportunity to help them and even her as she's looking at buying her own farm. And when people say, I need help, in the Richmond or Charlottesville area, she's always a very easy go-to for me to say, here's your person you need to connect with, whether it's for a client or for an agent who's looking for someone there. And when she needs help up in this corridor, Maryland or West Virginia or 66 corridor, she's like, Sam, I know you know the right person. Like, it's so easy to go back and forth with her because we've built connection and we've built trust. We absolutely have become each other's raving fans. And here's the thing, you don't just want one or two raving fans, somebody who, you know, goes, oh, when you call them, like, oh, yeah, I should have reached out to you earlier. Oh, or when someone comes back to you and says, okay, I'm ready to move forward. Just because they like you doesn't make you them a raving fan. A raving fan is talking about you when you're not in the room. And it's because not only have you up-leveled the service that they would expect in the industry, but you've added so much value. And how do you do that in this really crowded world right now, right? There's so much information coming at us. John Maxwell said we have 35,000 pieces of information coming at us each day. And what might have worked years ago or even just a couple of years ago, does it still work today? Maybe, but it's so much harder and so much more effort. So we've really worked on what do we do to make sure we have raving fans when you walk out your door. The 100 houses closest to you, are they your raving fans? We have a system for that. It's super simple. It's not complicated. You really should be doing it. What about the 100 people who know you the best? Are they raving fans? Do they think about you when you're not in the room? The reality is most people don't think about you when you're not there, right? Even if you say to your neighbors, like, what is it that they do? You might have heard about it over the years. You just don't think about it. I was talking to an agent recently. I'm like, what does your husband do? She's like, oh, I don't even really know. Like, we're just not that connected. I mean, I feel like she knows, but it just probably wasn't worth going deep in on. But that being said, we can't expect people to be thinking about us all the time. But we can serve them. We can serve value, right? We can help them think about us more often. And we can do that by thinking about them more often. It's often so very simple, something that can be done in 12 seconds a day because they're worth it. So if we haven't connected about it yet, I have three very simple ways to increase your visibility, both with the people who already know, like, and trust you, the people who live closest to you, and the people that are in your scroll, right? You can always be attracting new people. So I think if we all had 100 raving fans, we'd have a lot of business. We'd be a rainmaker. It'd be our most profitable business. When you attract a sphere of influence and track business that way, it's so much more profitable and it converts faster. And it's actually the easiest work. Sometimes it's so easy, it doesn't feel like work. And sometimes we give up or we find a client, we start working on that client versus continuing to build our business. And that, my friends, is a fatal error. So it's really important to continue to grow your business by doing the prospecting to turn them into leads because everyone you know knows 4 people moving per year, right? And every 10 people you know is a transaction or a deal for you in your business. 100, that's 10 deals. 300, that's 30 deals. What would your business look like in your area if you maxed your commission and had 30 deals on the average sales price this year? You might say that might be too much business for you. Well, that's a good problem to have, isn't it? When you can then be the rainmaker and hand business to other people. So you can't get there without doing the actions first. And there are different ways to do it that cost money and effort and time. I love a good shortcut. So if you want to talk about shortcuts and things that are higher value that convert your business faster, I'd love to do that with you. So anyway, thank you for being here on Substack, Instagram, all over the place. I'm Samantha Tunador with Atlantic Coast Mortgage, the home lender for you. We know that your success in the real estate industry is our success as your lending team. So I hope you found this information helpful. I'm curious, how many raving fans do you currently have? And what is your goal for raving fans in the next 30, 60, and 90 days?